great presentations, different degrees of products, but it's just amazing how fast everything's moving. As they said, you know, the website's changed, and I think just everything's moving so fast, so quickly, just the connectivity and just an event like this. So I believe at this time we're gonna get the judges off the stage so that you guys can confer. So you gentlemen, you judges, go ahead and head off stage. You guys can converse, you know, together and, you know, kind of sitting there patiently. Again, I know it's early for you, but head over there, grab a coffee. But thank you, Mr. Coleman, Mr. Yap. Again, executives in their own right. I know you are, you know, never been called the pinnacle, but keep it up. But again, it's just amazing how fast everything moves, and we're seeing these products and cars develop, rapid prototyping. I mean, what excites you? I mean, what excites you about SEMA? I mean, just being here, you know, because a few of you guys have a booth. Does Carnages have a booth here? Okay, if we could turn up their audio. You were the one that had difficulty with the audio, but kind of going to ask them some questions. But you don't have a booth, but what are you most excited about and just awed by?
I think the best thing is, I mean, it's our target market. So I mean, all the vendors that are here are the ones that we want to be working with. You know, all the consumers come to the show, and it's pretty much the biggest convention that we can go to in the States each year that directly matches what we want to do.
Right on. And you have a booth. I mean, you have that tangible product. You said, you know, the handicap, but then you want to get into, you know, you want to get into the hot rod market. I mean, it seems like you have kind of a, you know, almost a self-sufficient business already. I mean, what would this do for you and your business being tied in with and winning Launchpad here?
Winning Launchpad would be huge. We're, you know, just kind of starting out with the custom car guys, and we're, you know, I'm running into booths here that a guy will stop me, see my shirt, and be like, "I have your product in my car right now," and
right.
that's what it's all about for me, you know.
Cool.
So I'm hoping by next year, you know, I get the booth, the free booth that would come with this, and then every car that I see, you know, somebody's gonna pull me over and be like, "Yeah, it's an e-stop." I want to make e-stop like Kleenex. Pass me a Kleenex. Don't pass me a tissue. I want people to ask, you know, do you have an e-stop? Not, do you have a push-button emergency brake?
Right on. Well, that branding starts here, and I think
Exactly.
you're already doing that. So I think that's great. Now, what's crazy here is you guys kind of almost have similar products. And we talk about, you know, Young Executives Network, and you know, we're all young at heart. We're all kind of young executives. You know, like I said, I'm working for 6 companies. We're working hard. I'm trying to network. I've never met Mr. Evans of Source Interlink. I think you guys are kindled spirits here with your concepts and what's going on here. But CarBuff Network, you guys have a booth. I mean, how are you being received here? Just presence being out there. How are you guys being received already?
Yeah, well, when people understand that we're different than anything they've seen as far as a directory site, we've had people come back to the booth and say, "Okay, I get it." We had a manufacturer that said, "All right, I understand what you guys are doing. I've got 700 reps. Every one of those businesses needs to be on your website." That's what he said to us. It's the same message. When these people understand that, yes, we're a directory, but here is how you can be different than every other business on the internet, because you choose how you be found.
Right on. And we kind of share, you know, kind of similar concepts. You know, I'm kind of singing and dancing in front of people, but you're, you know, and what's great about technology is you can do this from your home. You can spend time with your son. I mean, isn't it a gift? Obviously, you know, just doing it out of your home, but spending the money. I mean, again, technology, a great facet of it.
No, most definitely. I mean, I'm based out of Ames, Iowa. I'm in the middle of the Midwest, and I get to be in the automotive industry, right? It snows on me in the winter, and everybody else is driving hot rods. But because of the technology that's there, we get to connect this way. And it's super fun. I mean, the best part, huh?
Excuse you. You said share everything, so I like that. Frank, go ahead.
I can do that.
On call? Amazing. Screw the whole podcast. Let's just fart on call.
The best part is being able to connect with people. I mean, I can look around the room and see my friends, and that's not uncommon at SEMA. Right. Car people connect with each other. There's a guy out there high-fiving right now. So it's the best place in the world to get to know people. It's a hard industry to be in, that's for sure, but it's a great one.
It's a small industry, but it's so large, and you know, my whole deal is, you know, just obviously you never know who's going to pay you next, or you know who's going to hire you. Yeah. The network is strong, but we talk about the Young Executives Network. Dom the Bomb. I mean, really giving back to these. You know, that nickname has really been branded in my skull. But Dominic, you're helping other. You know, you're a Young Executive Network, and the whole SAE deal is even younger people under you. I mean, I think that's great. And to be honest, I haven't been involved with Formula SE, but what a great opportunity. And you just gave awareness to Formula SE, and that wasn't truly your agenda, but also Funding Garage. So you almost could fund these projects, so you're kind of one of the same. So
you guys are welcome. Absolutely.
But I mean, what's you do have a booth here or not? I can't
I
recall.
do not have a booth. However, we've been here the whole week.
Yeah.
And we talked to so many vendors. And next week, we're actually going to host a series of workshops starting at UC Irvine in collaboration with the Southern California Educational Performance Organization and the Vital Link of Orange County. And we're going to help about 30 schools. Did I mention this already? Dom da bomb, yes. So about 20 high schools and 10 colleges are going to come together at UC Irvine, and we're going to teach them about crowdfunding, utilizing the community fundraising platform. At the same time, we want people that are innovating with their products at SEMA to be the speakers at these events.
Right.
Children nowadays are really good at maybe test taking, going back and reading the book, and then taking exams. But when you give them a set of wrenches and go, come build something with me, they're like, well, what do I do with these? We got to stop that. As I said before, student of today are professionals of tomorrow, and we're waiting on these group of individuals to come up. And they're going to, 10, 20 years from now, they're going to be the ones walking around the SEMA. They're the ones going to be at the booths, right? And we got to give them the best educations possible. And Funding Garage absolutely believes in competition, or education through competition. And we spoke to companies like Brembo, MSD, K&N, and right off the bat they said, we'd love to be part of it. We are already part of it in a small scale. We want to be national with you. So Funding Garage is the way to go.
Cool, right on. Well, your minutes was up ages ago, bro. So wrap it up. Wrap it up. Still shopping up here. Well, I believe we're going to bring our judges back up here. But judges, you've conversed, took a little shot of coffee there. Judges, why don't you ask any really pressing questions? 2 minutes per candidate. First off, let's start with Car Ninja. Vendors by Car Ninja. Any questions for this gentleman? 2 minutes, shoot. Judges.
How many guys are loaded up on Car Ninja right now?
Just the 87.
87?
So I'd ask, what happens when socially the people who sign up with you get rated poorly by the people that are using their product?
So, I mean, there's a weighting system that's in it. So one of the things I didn't get to touch on is the fact that, like, if you're already on forums and you already have a weighting and you've already been building those up for all the years, the idea is you can actually link them with your Car Ninja profile. And so basically when you're saying stuff on the site, it has a lot higher of a relevancy and a weight. But also the goal is if there's vendors that can't maintain a certain level of quality, then you can't be on the site.
Do the vendors pay you to be on the site?
They do. There's free and a subscription model. The difference.
But inherently, then you've got a conflict because, like I do, you take advertising dollars, but you're going to be putting up bad ratings about somebody that you're taking money from, right?
They are, but the idea is you're kind of paying to have access into the system to be able to access all of the users that are on it. And so it's kind of, that's why, but if you can't maintain that level of quality, then you're not going to be paying us and we're not going to have you on there. It's ultimately for us, it's about the end consumer. Versus places like Yelp, you can actually have a Yelp profile you're paying for and you can pay to remove the negative listings. And they make them hidden, and so they don't actually factor into your rating.
Yours is similar to Angie's List in a way.
What's that?
Similar to Angie's List in a way, right?
It's somewhat similar in that obviously it has the listings, and that also users can also have listings as well. I think one of the big things that we're adding in is just you got a lot of high quality photos and content, and also we're trying to drive traffic back to where you already are. Because one of the big questions we had is like, well, how's this different from say Facebook? Well, you go on Facebook and you're looking for a company that you generally already know. You're not going on there to try discovering new companies that you don't know about. And so we're trying to help consumers find those people in your area and then drive them back to the places that they already are.
How are you looking to aggregate user?
So what I didn't get to touch on is we already kind of have a user base with Car Ninja. It's also an automotive lifestyle brand. And so we already have about 60,000 active users that we work with. And then through the networks that we have, we cross over 1.2 million. And so the idea is that we're actually tapping those who are automotive enthusiasts initially and getting them in, and they're going to be recommending the vendors they go to. So if I came in, I'd be like, I use EAS and BBI and so on. You guys want to be on here. And so we're trying to build it up more based on those recommendations.
It's a good concept. I want you to know that, and I know you've put a lot of work in on it, and I think if you can continue to develop it, it's got potential.
Thank you.
All right. Well, great closing statement that commences that session there. Again, giving you guys about 3 minutes, a Q&A and also a review. I mean, there's an opportunity for you guys to give them feedback, not only questions. But next up, eStop here, the eStop product, obviously the only tangible product here. But go ahead, give an evaluation if you guys have any feedback for this gentleman or questions.
I've got a question. How long have you been in business in total, including the handicap market?
With eStop, eStop has been a corporation for a year and 8 months, but our mother company is ACT Coleman, and we've been a SEMA member for 20 years.
Okay.
Now, what other products are you looking to develop? We saw 2 or 3 products, but what else are you trying to develop?
My next step is the drift system. That's something that a lot of people that buy our product always ask me, can I drift with this? And I say, no, 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 no. It's an emergency brake, it's not a drift brake. So it was kind of a no-brainer to start developing that. And I'm just hoping to keep, every time I get a good input from a customer, for instance, a guy wanted to light up his parking symbol on his stock dash panel. Luckily, I left an open port on our control board, and it was a simple reprogramming of the control board, adding a wire, and now that's standard with every e-stop. So every e-stop now you can light up that parking symbol. You don't have to just rely on the button light itself.
Well, my advice to you would be to think broadly, because I think there's a lot of applications you could come up with. You sat down and really thought about it. There's a number of areas and a number of directions your product could go, and I think if you think about it broadly enough, you'll find a lot of other markets and other places you can take it into.
Appreciate that.
And if you don't, Ron will buy your company and do it for you.
Have you tested out the drift system yet?
No, I have a friend of mine, Jimmy Fitzpatrick, who is from Metal Militia, and those guys love the drifts, and he's going to actually test it out for me. I told him, when it's all installed, I want you to break it. I want you to ride it until the whole thing just pulls apart. And you know, that's when I'm gonna be able to redesign it, make sure that it's a tangible product. You know, these cars are $400,000 drift cars, so I want to make sure that, you know, you're not going to be mid-competition and have a cable snap or something.
Right. Do you think that application will work for other things similar, like a rally car?
Yeah, I think it will, and that's my full intention. Is I want these drift guys to start endorsing it, and I know it's going to be weird for them at first. They're so used to having that hand lever, so I really want to get the Metal Militia guys behind it. They're going to be able to test it. They're going to, I'm hoping, fall in love with it and be able to promote it to all their friends, and then bring it up from there.
Really impressed with your product.
Thank you so much.
Very
Right on.
cool.
All right, well, great way to end. Congratulations. Round of applause. All right, 3 minutes. Trent Campbell, Car Buff Network, evaluation of his product. Any questions for the Car Buff Network? Similar product to one that's up here, but I think very specific, again, Northwest, but worldwide, as he said.
First off, I think your daughter did a great job with the presentation.
She'll appreciate that.
So that was excellent. How do you differentiate Car Buff Network versus Car Ninja versus lots of other guys probably trying to do something similar?
Thank you for asking. Am I on? Can you hear me?
There you go.
Now we go. That is what makes us different. Okay, this is what makes us different. This has been field tested for 6 years as a concept. 6 years prior to that, I was networking. What makes it different is a business owner can say, this is what I do, but this is how I rank it. This is how I order it. These are the events I go to. So on a profile, a profile owner or a company owner can list the businesses they endorse, which is how we do business in our industry now. It's just not online efficiently. We also connect them to project profiles. So these businesses are able to connect to each other through project profiles. And then on that project profile, they're able to say, this vehicle is going to go to this event, using checkered past as an example. So we've profiled Andy, we've profiled Cal Automotive. Cal Automotive built the checkered past, which, by the way, won a great award here at the show. And we can tie it to the Detroit Autorama. So if I go to Detroit and I see that car, and I say, I wonder who else was involved in it with that car, I can now see that. I can see all the businesses that worked on it, and if I like something that they did, I can click on their link and go to their profile and see the whole thing over again. It's our industry, only now it's online, and that's what's different.
Now, how many do you have connected already? How many companies?
We have about 210. And like I said, we launched it on Sunday, but the site is fully functional. And we'd love for you guys to just go test it out.
Okay, now how many do you think you're going to be able to hook up, we'll say, in a year?
In a year? Well, I can tell you the response we've gotten. I've talked to a couple association chairs. One has 4,000 shops in their association, and he said, this is a fantastic way for these businesses to differentiate themselves from each other. That's one association. We had someone stop by our booth yesterday, and he's a manufacturer, which, by the way, that's our next step. We're in the development of the manufacturer profiles. and he's got 700 stores that rep his product. He said, I want every one of my stores on your website.
But your challenge, it seems to me, is getting that critical mass. And I think it's really important at this stage of your business for you to get out there and get as many people as you can on it, because that's going to make you successful.
Yes, and that's the reason that we're working with the events. It's free profiles for events, free profiles for clubs, and we're becoming a resource for them, and that's what's going to drive traffic to the businesses. That's how the way our industry works.
Right on. Well, thank you. And you know, it's a round of applause real quick. Again, the Car Buff Network. What I think also interesting is you didn't really touch on its user base. You know, the user does it. You know, vendors by Car Ninja, you know, it's very slick, very good looking. It's Yelp-esque, you know. But what I think also is there's space for both of you. You know, I think there's space for both those products to coexist on the World Wide Web. It's a big place. You know, Al Gore invented the internet. So moving on to our next candidate and product, Robert Kibbe, the podcast.
Robert, I love your passion. I love the fact you have so much passion for this. How many people do you have helping you put these videos and podcasts and all together?
It's all audio based. So it's am I on right now?
Yeah, you're good.
It's all audio based. We have one producer, myself, the host, 2 assistants, and then 3 more people in the background.
And how are you going to get your distribution? How are you going to get it out there to the people?
That's what I'm here for, baby. Yeah. Right now, we push it out through all the traditional means: iTunes, website, Facebook advertising, forums. Pretty much a grassroots effort, quite honestly. Getting an association with a bigger partner is a good way to leapfrog to the next.
Why is he looking at me?
He'll be Hot Rod podcast next. Right?
That's not a bad idea.
No, actually, following up on Ron's comment, you know, we do a lot of original programming on YouTube now that's original with video and audio. Why would I just listen to a podcast when I can go look at new original content on YouTube and have video too?
Fantastic question. The bulk of our listeners come from people commuting in cars, working out. We get a lot of manual laborers that put their earplugs in while they're working. We get a lot of people in the office cheating, listening while they should be working. People that don't have the ability to watch video or even read something. It's usually a multitasker that you're picking up, and there are millions of commuters every single day. I know that the bulk of our listeners listen in the car.
How many podcasts can you put out? I mean, does it take you a day to do one, half a day? What does it take?
We can typically crank out a full content 1-hour show within a couple of days at a very reasonable pace, but we can do them quite a bit faster if we need to.
And how in depth is it? Do you actually get deeply into a product, or you just kind of glance over a product, or what do you do?
That's the nice thing about it. You can go as deep as you wish. So with each guest, I typically prepare for a good hour to 2 to make sure that I understand their background, their product line, and we have a good outline. And as you ask questions and you get pretty good at interviewing people, I'm enough of a car guy to ask the questions my audience would ask anyway. So if they start giving me some gold info, I just keep mining that way. And I go until I'm satisfied, quite honestly.
Well, keep your passion. I think if you keep your passion, you'll do fine with it.
All right, thank you.
Right on. Well, there you have it. Round of applause. On average, how many podcasts are you doing right now? Like a month? Say a month? Are you doing one every day?
About 10.
About 10 a month?
Yeah.
And on average, how many listeners or views or clicks or per episode? How many?
Yeah, each one will start out with a few thousand, then again, it just ticks up and up and up.
Cool.
Because
Well,
people continue to download them.
Awesome. Well, again, a great networking piece here, just being here, and like you said, Hot Rod, Source Interlink, pretty large network right there. All right, last but definitely not least, Dom the Bomb, Funding Garage, again, giving back to even younger executives. So, gentlemen, feedback, criticism, or questions?
I know you touched base on a lot of Formula SAE and student contributions. I mean, and then Jared touched upon that. I mean, I'm just assuming, how does it relate, or how do you correlate that to something like Kickstarter?
Something like, I'm sorry?
Kickstarter.
Kickstarter, okay. So everybody heard of Kickstarter before? Rocket Hub, Indiegogo, it's another crowdfunding website, and they help creative projects launch and gather funding. And they've done really well in the past 5 years. I think they collected over $500 million, which is a testament to the fact that crowdfunding works. Now, what's unique about automotive enthusiasts, kind of like the movie makers and the musicians that use Kickstarter and Rocket Hub and Indiegogo, is that we are passionate about what we do. It's boiling in our blood, but we need that community support. And the car community is very tight-knit. So, what we're doing different than Kickstarter is that I believe we need a specific niche that addresses automotive purposes only for crowdfunding or community fundraising platform. The reason is there's so many great resources, including yourself here and people at the show, that can really give back beyond the fundraising piece of it. What you don't hear about Kickstarter is most of the projects that are successful, by the way, that's less than 50%, go on, and less than 50% of those actually end up delivering the product that they promised in the beginning. And I think that's a broken system. What we're doing differently in Funding Garage is ensure that we have the entire innovations pipeline covered from the point that we're training the students how to fundraise, we're holding their hands while they're fundraising, and then afterwards pair them up with the resources they need to be successful with the money now they gain. So we need to cover that whole entire basis.
It's a good concept. We and others up here also support the SAE programs. We judge some of them, and we contribute money to them. We sponsor the University of Memphis, a particular group, their engineering department. And we also sponsor with not just money, but with other things. And I think there's a good need for it, because a lot of times it's hard to get a site where you can, get in there quickly and raise a little money. It also helps them to get their friends to kind of get on. They can, make a contribution quickly. So I think it's got some good, it's a good concepts, got good legs. I think it's going to take a while to develop to get it out there, let people know about it.
Yeah.
How do you make money on? How do you make money? You're fundraising to kick these things off, but how's your business work?
So, what we do is, if you're successful in raising your fund, let's say you say your amount of $5,000, $10,000, and you're successful, meaning you go beyond that goal, we take a 5% commission for that. So you a $500 on a $10,000 fundraise. So we can let the students keep most of the money and focus on having a great experience with their peers, building and winning race car. And by the way, we are going to be in UC Irvine next week with about 30 schools, teaching them how to get started on this journey for crowdfunding. So hopefully that would spread across the Formula SE community.
Go to the competitions and hand out cards and all. And by the way, we need to get cards from all of you gentlemen, because there's some good ideas we can maybe pass along to you later.
Well, that's great. Again, so round of applause for all 5 of our candidates. Thank you to our judges. Round of applause for our judges real quickly. Some just great personalities, and again, thank you for waking up early. Want to thank our sponsors. You can see them right there: eTool Developers, FamilyEvents.com, Con Media, Manufacturers Representative Network, Source Interlink, and of course SEMA for having us. And thank you guys and gals for coordinating this, Brian and Lindsay and the whole team and Mr. Con. Without further ado, I have a trophy down here, and all those sponsors are donating different products. Again, PR, marketing, I don't like using the word free. It's complimentary. These guys had to do work. Nothing's free. I never like using the word free. Anything you get, it takes work. You either have to walk over there and grab that can of product. Nothing's free. These gentlemen had to work for it. So it's a complimentary booth at SEMA 2014. So this is the official trophy here, Young Executives Network, SEMA Launchpad, presented by Yen. And the winner of the first ever Launchpad presented by SEMA Yen is, let me look, drum roll please. Jonathan Mill. Jonathan Mill. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Total honor.
There you go. Go and get over there with the judges. You can go and shake their hand.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate your time.
Right.
It's been an awesome competition.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I said the right winner, right? Was that who won, Brian?
I'll punch you in the face if you try to take this away from me. I just want to thank everybody, especially the judges, Brian for constantly keeping contact with all of us contestants and keeping us updated. Dan Kahn, our gracious host, and of course my family, my father-in-law Larry Goodman. He's the mastermind and the man that makes me what man I am today. So my beautiful wife as well, and my mother-in-law Sandy Goodman. Thank you so much. Thank you all for coming. I really do appreciate this.
Right on. Congratulations, first ever Launchpad winner. Congratulations. Have a great SEMA show. Again, I'll be out up front, up on top of the container. Come say hi, high five, and a handshake. Have a great SEMA 2013, and we'll see you next year.
To be the inaugural is